Good morning from Europe. Good afternoon, good evening, guys, wherever you are. Piotr here is Liteforex Global YouTube channel. 5th of February 2021, first Friday of the month, means Non-Farm Payrolls Day. Yes, exactly, that's true. Non-Farm Payrolls Day. So let's have a look first what we have when it comes to the major euro dollar. All right, and then we'll go through. With the euro dollar, situation is very interesting after the break of 2050, 2060, right? Finally, we hit 120, 119.60 zone. We discussed it for quite some time. First, the levels close to 120, Tuesday, Wednesday, lower shadows, but finally yesterday broke through, but hitting strong possible demand. So you know, currently we have some profit taking ahead of the non-farm payrolls. That's I'm not so surprised. Now, from the daily chart perspective, of course, we are within the range where we might see some bigger bounce, right? So taking into the consideration what we have here, I wouldn't be surprised in case of the, I don't know, weak non-farm payrolls that we are going to see some kind of the profit taking, and we are going to have to wait till next week to see if this zone is going to hold. If, for example, the Draghi as a prime minister might spur the rally on the euro dollar, or what's going to happen. Of course, at this very moment, supply is around yesterday high, and then 2060, 2070. So between 2040, 2070 is a supply. But again, let me repeat that 1960-20 is much more important. So, well, I would be very cautious and before jumping in, especially to the short side, especially closer to the end of the week. So what we have from the intraday perspective on the euro dollar, from the intraday perspective, there was a stop hunt, right, during the Asian hours and move higher. So for now, this late New York Asia consolidation as the possible demand, we are talking about the levels close to 1960, right? So again, the same level we were discussing, rally back towards either 2015, all right, bottom of that consolidation, or midpoint of that consolidation, 2040. As I mentioned, from the daily 2040 is also the key. So yesterday high levels could be targeted when it comes to the long side. So watching very carefully. If you are a conservative seller, and because we cannot move the market, I would like to see first the strong close below 1960, 1940. And then eventually looking for rally back to be used as a selling opportunity. So that's how I see the things when it comes to the euro dollar. Some primary dealers expectations: TD 400,000 plus, NatWest 300 plus, Citi 250, Nomura 250, Societe Generale 215, Goldman, JP Morgan, RBC, UBS, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, all of them 200,000 plus. Morgan Stanley 175, BNP Paribas 150, HSBC Mizuho 125, Scotia 100, Deutsche Bank 50, Jefferies minus 80. That's how some guys are looking for and their expectations. Okay, next one is a cable. There you go, no change when it comes to the Bank of England. Looks like some guys were thinking about the negative rates. It didn't materialize, but also the squeeze here got us back into the first 50% of that consolidation we were discussing, as well as the weekly open. So we are hitting again the supply zone. Well, very similar to what we've seen on Tuesday, right? We have some active supply. So what I would look for from the intraday perspective when it comes to the cable, well, if you are a bull and you think we are going to end up higher, so one of the options is looking for this trend line, right? looking for attempt to break that trend line to the downside, creating lower shadow but closing above. That could produce a rally higher, right? And in that case 37.50 as the first possible target. On the other hand, if you are a seller, you might want to use the horizontal weekly open and the supply we discussed a second ago around the current level. You may also want to wait again with this trend line for breakdown, retest, right? And then with the price action on the smaller time frame around this retest, you may want to try to use the opportunity to try to go lower. Now, how low can we go? Well, 36.20 could be first target, and the weakness over here 35.80 ahead of the end of the week could be targeted as well. So that's how I see the things on the cable from both perspective, from the buyers and the sellers. It's also worth to mention about the gold towards the end of the week, as we've seen another sell-off yesterday, all right, and we are testing the levels we already discussed. That was the minimum target to retest the demand zone, over here, especially that it could be treated as a possible over under to what we've seen here, all right? So watching very carefully. Of course, still I do believe we might see lower levels. We were even discussing 1,700, 1,615, if you do remember our previous meetings. But the bounce from here, of course, could be in place. Also, what I would look for is this type of the consolidation we've seen over here. So I would like to see the break to the downside. Then I would like to see some weak rally towards, for example, 1815, 1850, right? With some kind of the rejection over here, and then continue to the downside. That's how I see the things related to the gold. Also today we have a Canadian job market. So somewhere in the background, the Canadian dollar is worth to watch, the Canadian dollar. And in that case, I would like to go back to GBPCAD, okay, because we've seen the rally because of the overall pound rally based on this zone, lower shadow. So now I'm very curious, because still I do expect supply on the GBPCAD around 76.20, all right, and the demand around 74. So I would be very careful trying to chase somewhere here, all right, because it could be from the buyer's perspective. From the buyer's perspective, yesterday price action, the lower shadow, it was nothing else, just the retest of this move, right? So that's retest of the demand and nice rally. So we might continue to the upside. On the other hand, the sellers may try to finish the business around 76, as I mentioned. So really, I would be very cautious trying to chase here. Either I would wait for some kind of the one-to-one and retest of the yesterday levels and positive price action, or I would wait for the retest of 76.20 and negative price action, trying to hold that range towards the end of the week. All right, guys. So that's it from me. Good luck during the non-farm payrolls and the Canadian job market. I'll be around and make an update if necessary. Have a good one. See you around. Take care and goodbye.